Oh. Got some rumbly in my tumbly.
What? Look at this nuts.
It makes me angry.
This is cool, man.
It makes me happy, actually.
There's another one in there if you want it.
Why is mine purple and his isn't?
His has a strip of purple. My
Oh yeah,
printer
like
is,
right there.
my printer is really weird.
Mine looks like it's
Honestly,
been
I
affected
didn't
by
get it for
taint.
anyone. I just had a bad day at work, so I brought some out.
Sorry. At least it's.
You're welcome to
readable,
have
like
it
your
if you
old
had that
character
bad of a
sheet.
day.
That's true.
I have to deal with doctor's offices and insurance
So do we
companies
have like
and angry
any key
nurses.
for what all the numbers are? Or do we have to discover that?
You will have to discover that eventually, since you guys didn't do much exploring.
Where did
But
we?
Number 19
Is
is
our-
your base of operations,
Cool.
and 22 is the wizard's tower.
Oh, that's handy.
That's what I said. This is just a short jaunt down the road.
Where's the entrance to the town? Is there one major
There are
entrance?
several entrances. There's one here, and one here, and one here.
Is there any main docks on this river, or is it not?
There's
29.
one here and one here.
Cool.
Sorry, one here and one here.
That's the waterfall.
Yes.
This is the bluff line.
So,
Get some
yes.
water.
So they have to. So the reason why Fallcrest is a big town is because they have to port goods.
Gotcha.
You have to carry them up to the other side of the waterfall, or down. So
No, you just stick the barrels in the river and let them go down.
sure, if that's what you want.
It's a cool town.
All right, but you guys are currently descending into the bowels
Of hell.
of the earth, and you are
Owls.
yum. They rumble. And you guys eventually you're following this halfling that you rescued a while back, named Rendil Halfmoon. If you recall.
I have it written down.
Sorry, Rupert. If you recall. And now you are entering, basically, you keep walking for, maybe you think a mile or so down this kind of zigzaggy path, just cutting its way downwards. And eventually, you come to basically a big open area inside the mountain. And it's very dark, but it's lit up with all of these lanterns. You've arrived at the seven-pillared hall. It looks like this.
This is underground.
This is all underground, yes.
It's pretty cool. Okay, Jake.
I take it you found out what the ore is?
You arrive here, and basically, I will give you maps
Yes.
of the seven-pillared hall.
Yes.
You are coming in through the one marked number 1. The entrance.
Fine. Darn it, I thought that was the last one.
And right in front of you, there's another building. And this building is, as Rendell explains to you, called the Customs House. This is basically the headquarters for not the police, but just the enforcers of the rule here. And you see, standing outside, there's 2 humans, 2 that you can tell that are humans. One of them is lightly armored, and he just kind of looks like your normal lackey. But there's another one who's dressed in some flowing mage robes. And he's basically standing watch there, and just kind of making sure that things are going well. And they watch you as you approach in a kind of way that insinuates that because you're new here, you should kind of go over and talk to them. Like, we're keeping our eye on you, don't try to, walk around us or anything.
Let's go interact with
Way to
them.
approach.
Alright, so, do you say anything as you walk up to them?
Greetings.
I need my dice.
I need my dice.
Just in case you try to bullshit them or something.
Would we do something like that?
If there's treasure involved, I know
Yeah.
at least one person.
Treasure.
Treasure? I heard treasure.
Greetings, how are you?
You see that this the wizard guy, he's got this really soured face. Not soured, sour face. Like he really doesn't want to be here. He's got this black hair, and he looks to be in probably his early 30s or late 20s. He looks at you guys and he sees that you're, obviously armed and provisioned, probably adventurers. And he looks at you and he says, "Welcome to the seven-pillared hall. I am Orumtor. I am one of the mages of Sarun. What brings you here to the hall?"
Many things, actually. For starters,
Sarun.
Sarun.
For starters, we're here from Winterhaven. If you know the place.
I may have heard of it.
That's your question.
Well, the Lord of Winterhaven has sent us here on a few missions, and we also have a few other missions.
Of personal business.
Yes, of personal business to accomplish. Important personal business.
Can I be of any assistance?
You guys think you could be of any assistance to us?
First off, we would like to know where Gendar is.
Ah, you seek Gendar. Gendar has a curios and relics store. You may find him over there, and he points across. What you see is kind of like there's a stream in the center of the cavern, and you can see that there's kind of a raised platform, that's number 14 on your map, that has a gigantic minotaur statue on it that's holding its arms out in kind of like a ritualistic pose. And just to the left of it, which is number 15 on your map, you see that there's a store there. And he says, that is where Gendar has his shop.
I thank you kindly for your directions.
He says, now there is one thing I must warn you. Well, not warn you, it's not dangerous by any means, but if you're planning on exporting any trade goods from Thunderspire, you will have to make a small contribution to our fund. Just a 10% fee, which you will stay at the custom house. And if there are any problems, you can direct them to our friend Brug. And he gestures, and around the corner comes this gigantic ogre. What are you doing in my swamp? No, but there is an ogre, and he comes around the corner, and he's got his great club in his hand, and this thing is 12 feet tall, and he just stares down at you, and he's thumping his club on his hand, and just looking at you with this smile on his face, just this shit-eating grin, going.
We can totally take him.
We'll be sure not to cause any trouble.
Shit will be raised.
At this point, Rendil kind of dances away from you, and he's like, "Heh, thanks for bringing me here. I can show you to the inn. It's right over here, unless you wish to go to meet your friend Gendar. Otherwise, I'll just point you to the inn, and you can go there later."
Well,
I think we should check in at the inn first.
Yeah.
Into
So,
the
let's go get a room at the inn.
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
Alright, he leads you to the south, or at least what you think is south, since you're underground.
south side.
And you go to what's number 10 on your map. And this is the Half Moon Inn. You can see it kind of sits against the side of the hall. But it looks like it serves a lot of purposes. There's probably there's some raucous laughter going in. It is closer to the evening. You can hear some music trailing out, probably from a minstrel. You can hear the harp being plucked, and it seems like people are just generally having a good time in there.
Alrighty. So we will follow Rendale to the inn. and then go check in and get a room.
All right. He opens up the door and he goes, "Hey, hey, hey, everyone!" And the crowd inside goes, "Hey, it's Rendell!" Everybody's like, "Woo!" And Rendell goes up to the counter and he says, "Hey, Aunt Era." And you can see that there's another halfling woman sitting behind the counter, polishing her mugs, and she gives him a warm smile as he comes in and she says, "Ah, Rendell, it's nice to see you. How have you been?" And he says, "Well, I was captured by slavers just a little while ago." And she claps her hands to her face and goes, "Oh, that's terrible. Was it the Blood Reavers?" And he says, "Yeah, I think it was." She says, "Well, how did you escape?" And he says, "These guys helped me." And he points to you all.
Yeah, it does. Hello.
And she says, "And who are you?"
We are the Illuminators. We are an adventuring group from the city of Fallcrest.
She says, "Well, thank you very much for helping my nephew. He can get into some trouble every once in a while. As repayment, I will allow you to stay here for free as long as you're in Thunderspire."
Well. Free is good.
Cameron's just rubbing his hands together.
Yes, it's funny.
Good.
And if you follow me, I can show you to your rooms.
We
Will
thank
two
you.
suffice?
That should be fine, madam.
We thank you for your kindness.
Alright, and she leads you kind of to the back. She says, "Rendell, take care of the bar for me." And he says, "Sure." And, he goes back and starts, conversing with the patrons while she leads you down a hallway at the back of the tap room and says, "This one will be one of your rooms," which is, there's 3 doors on either side of the hallway. She gestures to the second one on the right and that one at the end. She motions to the last door on the end of the left side of the hallway.
Thank you very much, again, for your kindness. We are happy to help whenever you are in need of us.
"Sure thing. Well, I'll be in the tap room if you need me. Just let me know, and I hope your stay is comfortable." And she leaves you.
Alright.
So how are we splitting these rooms? Who's sleeping with who?
I assume...
Giggity.
Who's sleeping in the same room as who?
There's only one bed!
This is 2 twins.
We'll be in one room. You two are probably going to be in the other.
Okay.
Since we're companions.
No, they are both double-bedded rooms.
Oh my god.
I would hope so. Huge.
Do you have any dragonborn sauces?
You just sit on the bed.
Snaps the bed in half.
No, actually, all of the beds are... They're kind of like, they're like stone bathtubs. If you think about it, low stone bathtubs that come out of the floor, and what it is they've got kind of like, it's kind of like, if you would think of a bathtub, right? Mm-hmm. It's made out of stone, and about halfway up there's a layer of bricks, and then on top of that is the mattress, and underneath is an area where you can put a fire underneath and stoke it to make it warm.
Caleb, let's make bunk beds.
We'll
have so much more room for activities.
I don't know how you would do
Activities.
that. They're kind of worked into the floor.
Well,
I would
another thing is...
I would like to do a strength check.
Fail.
That is actually a 19. I ripped the bed out of the ground.
Yeah,
too.
I'm sorry. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure you won't be able to stay for free if you actually try that.
I would not.
It's like that
In
scene
fact, you
from
might not
Step
be able to
Brothers.
stay at all.
It's like that scene from Step Brothers. Caleb gets on top and he just like collapses on top of me.
Anyways, yeah, that's nice. I like those beds.
So we get accommodated with our rooms and whatnot. And then we head out to
Now
go
we're
see Gendar
Jugendar.
at his shop.
Two Gendars!
Alright, so it's not very hard to find things in here, obviously, because the area is just so compact. So you cross over this stream in the middle of the cavern, and you head over to where Gendar's shop is. I assume you all enter into the shop?
Yes.
All right. Behind the counter, you see a drow, which is an elf with dark skin, completely black almost. And he's got an eye patch over one eye. And he puts on, and when you walk in, he grins at you, but it's not like,
What gender is the elf?
What? I keep
said it's
saying
male.
he. Well, gender, you don't know. You'd have to talk to him. If we're being politically correct here. But by all accounts,
So no
he
kids.
appears to be physically male. But this smile he puts on is kind of smug. He's like,
That's not smug. That's smug.
I'll handle this.
Alright, you're walking up to the counter, Ezra?
I'll walk up quietly, be like,
Sneak up. Sneak up.
not like sneakily, just not intrusively. I'll just walk up and be like, "Good day to you." Woo!
Is that it?
We are looking for Gendar.
I worry about our leader sometimes.
Alright.
He's doing that cock block near the cord.
He clasps his hands together and says, "Hello, welcome to Endar's Curios and Relics. How may I help you today?"
Are you Gendar?
I am.
You're sent here by Barwin.
Companions?
What?
I was getting to it. We have a cask for you from Bearwin in Thunder. Yes, it's from Bearwin. We were told to give it to you. We have the
Alright.
cask with us, do we?
Yeah, I have the cask.
Okay.
I have the cask over.
Alright. You hand the cask over and he kind of opens it. He doesn't open it in a way that you can see what's in it. But he kind of opens it and kind of examines it, a little bit. And then he closes it again and says, "Yes, I think this is what I paid for." And he puts it underneath the counter and he says, "This is for Bearwin in exchange." And he brings out like a lockbox. And he turns it around and kind of pushes it across the counter to you. And then he also produces a small key and puts it down and says, "Now the inside is sealed with wax of the lock, so Bearwin will know if it's been opened. So I advise that you don't. But you all look, let's see, able. And you've already represented Bearwin in one adventure, so perhaps you can do something for me?"
Indeed. We will take this lockbox and return it to Bearwin when we are on our way back to Winterhaven.
"Well, that's all good and all, but I would like something more from you, if you have the time.
What is it
What
that
it-
you want?
I need someone to retrieve an item of commercial value for me.
And what would this item be?
Marshall means money.
It's an ancient skull scepter. It's not magical, but I acquired it from the Bone Chamber, which is near the cisterns underneath the seven-pillared hall. But I lost it when my workers were ambushed by a group of Duragar. The Duragar, who live in the Horned Hold, which is an area beneath here, currently possesses the scepter, but it clearly belongs to me. My expeditioners were the ones who uncovered the relic. If you happen to come across either it or the Duragar in your travels, I shall pay you handsomely for returning it to me.
You said the Bone Chamber, correct?
Well, that's where I found it. I believe the Duragar have likely taken it back to the Horned Hold, which is where they have their major outpost.
Hornhold. We will be on the lookout for this Hornhold as well as your staff. If we come across it, we will indeed retrieve it for you. After all, you are a friend of Bearwin's, and we are friends with Bearwin.
And he says, well, thank you very much. And if you need any information about the labyrinth, I could be persuaded to give it to you. Just in case, I would hate to see your expedition fail.
And by persuaded, you mean, what would you like?
Well, just a small contribution. It is expensive to send out workers to recover relics from the labyrinth.
What would you all think would be reasonable? If there's anything reasonable.
Banker.
Oh, you're all looking at me to do it?
You have the money.
40 platinum.
Oh shit. We will walk. Any information we could give that could make our trip easier would be beneficial to us all.
Well, he's looking for something in return.
We'll figure out what he wants.
He said a small contribution.
Well, how much is small? A small could be as simple as a copper, it could be as simple as a platinum. We need more specifics here.
How small are you?
Are you going to ask him outright? Are you going to ask him outright?
What do you mean?
You're just gonna go up and fucking ask him, hey, how much?
Well, I mean, like...
Okay, cool, that's fine.
Don't do that, Jake.
What? How small are we talking?
And he kind of just gets this look on his face that's like, are you kidding me? And he says, well, I wouldn't say no to a few gold.
A few means two, give him 2 gold.
So a few is a couple.
How would 4 gold?
I mean, 2 is a couple. What?
Would 4 gold be okay?
Well, I don't like to put a price on people's lives. So whatever you think might be reasonable in that area.
We'll make it 6 then.
I would like to go for the record and say that I don't think we need any information.
That would have been completely fine too. But
I have 6 gold to spare. Why not?
But you slide 6 gold across the table to him, and he says, "Well, what questions could I answer for you?"
What questions do we have?
You paid without knowing what questions you wanted to ask.
I thought he was gonna like
Do you
tell
pause?
us. I thought he was gonna like tell us some like information.
Do you possibly have a map of the areas that you have been?
Not on me. Well, I have one, but it's my own personal copy. I could get someone to scribe it for you, but it would take a while, especially this late at night. It's not the best time for me to find someone to copy it for you. I may be able to have it for you, probably not tomorrow, but the day after.
Do you know of any natural dangers or traps that may...
Oh, there's plenty of things in the labyrinth. There's wandering monsters, bands of Duragar, bandits. There's constant cave-ins and collapses, earthquakes. There are creatures that live in the cracks in the walls and fish out tentacles to grab their unsuspecting victims. There's things that live in the Underdark and crawl up through the bountiful chambers and lurk inside passages. You know, standard things.
Are there any traps that we might need to be aware of?
It would depend. Usually there aren't traps within the corridors, but if you were to venture into, say, some long-forgotten treasure chamber, then perhaps there would be a trap or two.
Any specific monsters that we might encounter?
Well, the labyrinth does hold many secrets. But I would suggest you should be on the lookout for creatures known as Thalagar.
Thalagar.
They are predators that crawl through the cracks and narrow tunnels to ambush their prey with tentacles that rend flesh from their bone. They're rare, but their deadly attacks have earned widespread reputation.
I feel like we've faced them before.
Is there a sound way of defeating them? It's been proven.
Not particularly. Just attack them until they're dead.
Smack the crap out of them!
Well, that's what we are known for.
Smacking the crap
They
out of
have been known, however, to simply, once they've slain one creature, take its body elsewhere to devour it. So if one of you were to become incapacitated, I would say the best chance for the other 3 would be simply to turn around and walk away.
Or to save our allies.
Well, that's your prerogative, isn't it?
Tank falls
Indeed it
unconscious.
is.
Well, quest's over.
GG, guys! Adventure company over. Breaking up.
Well, thank you for the information. We will be back within, not
worth
tomorrow,
6
but the day
gold.
after for that map that you mentioned.
I hope it can be of service to you.
It's my gold. Who cares?
I agree.
Fair enough.
Alrighty.
Roughly what time of day is it right now?
It's getting later into the evening.
Shall we head to the inn and perhaps go
Return
start
to the
fresh
inn.
in the morning? Morning.
Do we want a map or...
You can see that the magical lights in the area are starting to get dimmer.
Oh,
Dimmer, as you know, to try to simulate a day and night cycle.
Gotcha.
Obviously, these miles underground, it's difficult.
So we've got just a little bit, like a few more, 2 more hours.
Yes, probably. And it looks like, as you can see, most of the areas are shuttering up, including Gendar's shop as you leave. Most places are, closing their doors and getting ready to close up for the night.
What about 16? Or any of the ones kind of in this crescent right here, are they...
Well, it looks like almost everything is getting ready to close up.
Alright, back to the end.
Back to the inn it is.
Start fresh in the morning.
Alright, so you guys enter into the inn. It's a bit more raucous than it was before. There's more people hanging around. You see the ogre is there, kind of throwing his weight around.
So to speak.
And he's just kind of, he looks like he's there to, kind of make some trouble, but not make some trouble. Just kind of like there to be seen, to be, a force. But he doesn't look like he's going to actually get into a fight with anybody.
Is there any hot women at the bar?
Definition?
Not really. Thunderspire is mostly a place of laborers and workers. So
So
there's
fellow
working
travelers.
not really a lot of travelers. You see that there is a minstrel in the corner playing. He's a halfling, and he's playing a harp, and he looks like he probably doesn't live down here because he's not all dirty and gross from, underground passage stuff. There's a couple of people hanging out in here, but most of them just look like your normal laborers. But if you're trying to look around for someone specific, I could maybe perhaps pull up somebody who may be around.
I was just kind of curious to just see if there's any other travelers that I could talk
See
to.
if there's somebody who stands out, maybe.
Yeah.
You do see that there is a dragonborn woman.
Woman? Well
In
done.
one dragon.
It's time.
He reaches into the pouch. He reaches into the pouch.
I go behind. Caleb, what's the character's name?
Gryffindor.
Gryffindor. She's all yours, buddy.
You see she's wearing,
Nothing?
that would be nice for you, wouldn't it? She's wearing some long, flowing white robes that have what kind of looks like it's like a half circle, semicircle, and it's got what looks like kind of like you would see on a castle wall, sticking out on top of it. You recognize this. This is the symbol of Erathis, the god of civilization.
Okay.
Gryffindor,
Goddess of civilization.
She's all yours.
maybe you could go talk to her. Let's see what she's doing here.
Pick up some chicks. I return to the room.
This looks rather interesting.
I pat
Pat him on the back and says, "Go get
If
him,
you wish to
buddy.
be
Go back
alone,
with you.
I will let you be alone. But if you are in need of my assistance, simply ask.
Don't ask for the cock block to help you."
You do see that she has a staff propped up against her table.
So most likely a mage of some sort. Okay. If you want to hang around the area, you can, but I'll just talk to her one-on-one.
I mean, he's getting his coppers ready, right?
Yeah. No, not this time.
I don't know, I think it's a little bit harder to cockblock a dragonborn.
Yeah, Caleb can just go.
Just lay you out.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and approach her.
I had to rip her neck out.
Or snap her neck.
No, she looks up at you, and you see kind of this realization come over her, and she's like, "Oh, you don't see many dragonborns around."
Precisely the reason I came to talk to you.
What brings you down here to the Seven-Pillared Hall?
I'm here along with a few companions on a few quests
Aren't the only
and
thing that's standing
expeditions
around here.
for a few allies and friends in neighboring towns. But mostly, the reason I came here to approach... That does not look comfortable for that dog. The main reason I came to talk to you was because you looked, since you did stand out, you looked as though you've seen a fair bit of the world.
Ah, yes, I'm a veteran of battles against gnolls and their demonic allies in the northern wastes. I know a bit of my way around the battlefield. In fact, that's the exact reason I came here. These creatures of the Underdark trying to worm their way up into our world. I'm trying to send them all back down where they belong. The Duragar, that drow, they all need to leave. I've been trying to get the mages of Sarun to get them out of here for weeks now, but they just won't listen.
You said that drow. Were you perchance referring to the drow that owns the shop on the other side of town?
Yeah, Gendar's what I think his name is. The slimy bloke. He and all of his drow should just go back to where they came from, the spider worshippers.
I'm not here, but
This where'd you go, buddy? Might become a little bit of a personal quest. Spider worshippers. Look what you started. Why did you have to tease me when we were children?
that's what friends do. That's how you know from your friends. From your best friends.
Just ask her, do you have, is there any reason that you would need to drive him out? Has he shown any signs of being suspicious as of late?
Of course he's suspicious. He's a drow. Don't you see him? And look at that eye patch. I bet he didn't lose that being friendly.
Have there been other drows in your travels that have, as of late, drows that you have encountered that have been plotting?
I bet they have. But they don't plot for long when they taste my steel. Well, it's wooden, actually. She props her staff up.
Or they taste her wood.
Whoa.
You also mentioned the Duragar, and when I had previously stated that we were on a few quests and adventures of our own, partially what we're here for is to help some friends in a nearby town clear out the Duragar. Would you perchance be interested in joining us?
First date.
Slay some minions together.
Hey, minions are mine.
She says, I think it might actually be better if you're willing to take on some Duragar. Maybe if we split our focus. I'll take care of all the other things in the Underdark, and maybe you can take on the Duragar.
Very well. Just
Denied.
shut down by the woman. And then there's just one other thing I have to ask of you.
Are you single?
No, you stop it with the questions. You're not even here.
I'm not. I went back to sleep.
Where was I going with this? Oh, yes. Have you heard anything of the Dragonborn clans and kingdoms in the area? And of any fallen nobles?
She kind of thinks for a moment, and she doesn't come up with anything.
Very well. I pull out the ring. Pull out the ring that I have on the necklace.
She does not seem to
Recognize it?
Nope, not at all.
Very well. I thank you for your time. And safe travels. By the way, I never got your name.
My name is Serena. But it's a U instead of an E. Like Serena. And she goes back to drinking her ale.
Very well. I'll head back up to my room.
Alone.
Jake, you're still down.
Jake, you're still doing
Yeah,
things.
you're-
Oh, that was my room.
No.
He was just watching.
He was just like
flipping
sitting
a
there.
coin.
He's just waiting, waiting. He had the coin in hand.
I'm just like,
And Caleb would glance over every once in a while.
Well, so you gotta play it smart. You don't do the pickup lines the first time you meet. You wait. You just do casual, just casual talking, and then you wait, and then you do the pickup lines. You also wait until no one else is around. I'd be like, hey, you go to the item shop, get some stuff, and I'm gonna just stay here and meditate.
Put the corner down. Good luck, buddy.
I will follow Caleb to the room.
Gryffindor. That's wrong. Well done.
I follow him. Caleb! Who's Caleb?
Well, I told you not to use that name. I was formerly known as Caleb.
Alright. So we retire for the night, I guess. So it's going down.
Alright, so you guys head to your beds. The Dragonborn fire breathes under all of your mattresses.
You're welcome.
The halfling gets very toasty. In fact, he's got kind of a toast.
Sweat.
Yeah, he's sweating
Sweat.
a little bit. And halflings are notoriously stinky when they sweat, so Zurin's out of luck tonight.
Can I cast a mage spell to get rid of the stench?
The stench is so bad.
Do you think you know anything?
I think I know everything.
The stench is so bad that you lose 1 HP.
Knocked unconscious.
Can I create a magical gust of wind out the window?
Well, if you use Expeditious Retreat.
Never mind.
Also, there are no windows.
Out the door. Under the crack.
There
of
is
the door.
no door.
There is. There was a minute ago.
How the hell did we get out of here?
Tetsu creates the gust of wind himself when he farts unceremoniously.
I'm okay with
What
that.
happens to halflings when they get warm? They fart. Alright, so you guys wake up, you head into the tap room. It's pretty much deserted. There doesn't seem to be many visitors who are staying in the inn.
Any women?
What happened to deserted?
I heard dessert.
So it's safe to assume that Serena's gone.
She is no longer here. You see that there's only one other patron in the tap room at this hour. It's the halfling minstrel who was playing last night. And he's sitting there, that's my d4. And he's sitting there with, a plate of eggs in front of him. And just a mug in his hand. And he kind of looks at you, and he notices you. He saw you guys come in last night, obviously. Dragonborn, they're not that common. He kind of nods in like, yeah, hey, what's going on? And goes back to his meal. And Era is standing behind the counter, and she says, it's good to see that you're up. Give me just a moment, and I'll make you some breakfast. And
Thank you kindly.
so, would you guys like to wait around for a meal?
Yes.
Sure.
thing.
Alright, so you all settle yourselves down around a table, and about 15 minutes pass, and she comes out with, some steaming plates of eggs, bacon, sausages. There's
sausage.
eggs, spam, bacon, and spam. No, shit. I promised myself no Monty Python references.
That's a little hard to do.
And there's some mugs of wine, and there's
Nothing like the strawberry king hammer.
yeah, day drinking. No, and there's some biscuits, and you guys just all kind of chow down before you head out into the seven-pillared hall.
Nom 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 nom. What do, friends?
So, do you guys talk to each other at all during your breakfast, or do you eat it in silence?
I'm half
no.
asleep still.
So, Krubador, I didn't want to ask you last night because I knew that you were probably tired, but...
How'd it go with your lady friend?
Yes, what did your friend have to say last night?
Well, I had mentioned our travels, and she said that she was here on business, hunting down the Duragar, which I found interesting considering it is also what we were sent here to do. She had also, which caught my attention, mentioned that she was planning on setting something up about taking down Gendar.
Sorry about your girlfriend, buddy.
Gendar.
And I'm not sure if it's just her unease and suspicion, or if there's actually anything afoot there.
Well,
But I suggested we perhaps keep our eye on him.
I don't normally judge a person by how they look, but
That's an
I
American.
do have to say he does look suspicious. It's best that we don't make it obvious, but we should probably keep our eyes open in case he tries to do anything to
That's-
harm us.
That staff you mentioned seems suspicious. He said there wasn't any magical properties, but I'd like to take a closer look myself.
Yes, his intentions might be mischievous once he obtains the staff. We better have a look at it ourselves. Or who knows? This whole quest to get the staff could be a trap on its own.
It could very well be. I asked her if she wanted to join us, but she said she'd best just work on her own, so it looks like we are not.
You think that she's kind of more like a Dark Knight Batman type, who's like, I work alone.
Dun, dun, dun.
Takes a cape.
I am the night.
Where are they?
Where are they?
I am the night. I am vengeance. I am Batman.
Well, I don't suppose you want to go looking for her again, do you?
Considering she's not here, I'm assuming she's either left or she's already headed deeper into the mountain.
Perhaps we should stop at one of the local shops and prepare ourselves before we make this journey.
Indeed. Let's look for a place to buy some
Alright,
equipment.
gang, let's load up and look for
That's
clues.
the lady. What's the
Shaggy and Scooby, you
latest breakfast? What's her name?
Her name is Era Halfmoon.
Maybe just ask her. Do you know of any local shops that we might be able to prepare ourselves for the journey ahead?
She says, you might want to check out Dreskin the Provisioner's shop. It's number 16 on your map. But be careful. If you mention you're going into the labyrinth and you look like you may not come back, he may try to cheat you.
Very well. Dress king.
Dreskin.
Dress king.
This thing is called a brownie magician.
Just in the item shop?
Sounds tasty.
He has a provision shop.
Provision.
He's a provisioner, not a shopkeeper.
Any others, or is that the only major shop in the area?
Well, there's the Grimmer's Old Trading Post, but they mostly engage in trade, not just,
Understandable.
yes, I think Dreskin would probably be your best chance if you're just looking for, supplies to venture down, but you may also want to check out the Deep Gem Company, which is, it's number 3 on your map. It's a company of dwarves who regularly organize expeditions into the labyrinth. They may be able to provide you with some details on how best to be outfitted.
Thank you for your time, your words, and especially for the breakfast.
She says, no problem. I think Rendil is waiting for you right outside if you want to speak to him.
Very well.
Let us do so.
Does he blizzard?
There's no wizard.
Oh yes, there was one right when we came in.
Alright, so you head outside? Alright, Rendil's waiting there for you, and he says, hey guys! Good morning to you! And you look around and it's still really dark in here. But he doesn't seem to mind at all. And he says, well, you're off to defeat the Blood Reavers today, right? Well, I can tell you exactly where to find them.
Really?
This guy's a morning person, he's pissing me off.
He just seems like he's happy all the time.
That pisses me off.
Yes, we would indeed like to know where to find them. If you wouldn't mind telling us.
No problem. He points over to the other side of the hall, which you can see is number 20 on your map. Behind the shops is basically a gigantic stone door. You would like that, wouldn't you? And the door itself is circular, but around it is basically a frieze that depicts a dragon, and the dragon is gripping the door, which you see to be like an orb, in its claws. And he says, "We call that the dragon door."
Captain Literal away.
Now, you just want to leave through that, and now it can get kind of twisty in there, but there's, you just follow the route. It's marked out. There are plenty of prospectors and miners who go down through that door every morning, and as you look across, you can actually see there are some dwarves and some Duragar with pickaxes, and they're heading down through that door. And he says, just keep following the route. It's marked clearly, but when you pass a doorway that has a lintel carved with 5 staring eyes, turn left, and you'll get right into it.
Thank you for the information. Are there any dangers that you might know of on the way down there?
Plenty.
More specifically...
It's the labyrinth. People go down there and don't come back all the time.
He's too happy!
We don't know what gets them. We just pray that we come back safe.
Well,
This is pissing me off.
I'm sure Bahamut will protect us all.
I hope so too.
Thank you for your advice. Hopefully we will be able to see you again.
I don't think the camera can see you, so please tell everyone that how you're committing seppuku.
I think that's just a
I pulled out my life drinker sword and just totally plunged it right in and just right up.
Straight up to the heart.
Dragonborn just committed seppuku.
Well, thank you for your advice. Hopefully we will see you again.
I hope so.
But I don't care about it.
I hope so. He just goes and sings along, my friends are going to die.
They're all screwed.
Every time I make new friends, they die.
God, you're so unlucky.
Alright.
Yes, the ultimate drink.
So shall
Bring me one.
bring us all.
Bring me a Baja Blast.
We feast on the blast.
Tonight, we dine
So-
in Jake's basement!
So,
Also known as hell!
This pleases me.
do we want to go to the provision shop? Yes. Okay.
Jake, you're wanting one as well.
Huh? I'm drinking Gatorade for now, but I have no doubts that I will want one in the future.
Badger Blast.
Oh, this actually got really cold really fast. I'm gonna have to not.
That's what a fridge does.
Oh,
Sick burn, bro.
it hasn't been that long.
It's actually almost been like 2 hours.
Oh, almost
An hour.
Wow. Oh,
An
okay.
hour.
I guess that's enough.
Alright. So are we going to the provision shop and then onwards, or are we just gonna go
I'm going to go to the gem shop.
the gem shop or the provision shop?
It was whatever you call it.
The provision shop.
The deep gem, sorry. Deep
Okay,
gem.
so,
That's where I'm going.
cool.
I will follow.
I'll go with Caleb.
Who?
Crividor.
And what do you do?
I'm gonna stay and talk to Rindale.
Okay.
Fuck, getting pissed off.
I know. I'm going to drive myself mentally insane.
So your name's Tetsu, right? You guys hear as
you guys-
you guys and you just hear
Better him than us.
Alright, so you basically head back towards the area where you came in, but it's really easy to see because there's these 2 large stone friezes that are in the shape of these stern dwarf faces, and they're adorning the facade of an expertly carved series of chambers. And this is the Deep Gem Company. And you can see that there are a couple dwarves bustling in and out, some of them filing out with pickaxes and such truck, heading towards any of the exits to deeper into the labyrinth.
We need to go deeper.
You're not very quick on the buttons today.
Sorry.
It doesn't matter. He has the blast.
It's probably killing your audio.
Actually, I'm not recording with this anymore. I'm recording with that. That thing records audio pretty good.
Oh, cool.
It's not in need of a charge, is it?
It probably will be in about 10 minutes.
All right.
So if we want to finish up your doing all of your things at the
Shopping.
moment, yeah.
In 10
Let's
minutes
take
time, yeah.
care of the shop.
All
Right
right.
in the door.
So you enter in and you see that there's a clerk standing behind a counter, and she kind of looks at you and she smiles. You know, she says, "Welcome to the Deep Gem Company. How can I help you today?"
Of course, me.
But this is definitely a fake smile. She does not look like a morning person.
I feel bad in front of Rindo.
I understand her pain.
Caleb just goes, I know that feel, bro.
I know that. One day we'll bring you.
Are you
in.
gonna make that noise every time someone calls you out on that?
I think that's like the new, like anytime he says that and you say who, it's just gonna be the new one. New that. If he says my name, I'm just playing that.
Okay.
No, I just say we had received word that we could come here because we are preparing to go deeper into the mountain.
We need to go deeper.
That you would have armament and the like.
She says, "Well, we don't outfit people here, but we could give you some advice. If you want, I can take you to the owner, and he may be able to give you some tips on, your adventuring."
If you would kindly, please.
All right. She kind of motions for you to come back through a doorway, and you see in kind of an office, sitting behind a desk, is an old dwarf, and she introduces him as Old Hand Deep Gem. And he says, "Well, it's good to meet ya."
Why is he Sean Connery?
I tried to do something different. I did not realize that it was the same as Lord Patrick's voice.
No, it's
You
fine.
could totally have him be an Indian dwarf.
No, I'm saving the Indian impersonation for something else.
Okay.
But it's coming.
Good to meet ya.
You could do the Hearthstone Tavern Dwarf.
How can I help ya?
Greetings. We've, the person up front said that you might have some information
The lady.
going on into the dangers of the mountain. We're
So-
trying to find the crap. What are they called again? Where the blood? The Blood Reavers.
Says the Blood Reavers. Well, I guess you're heading for the Chamber Eyes then.
Indeed.
Well, I can give you a few tips on how to outfit yourself. And he kind of hands you, he kind of scribbles down on a list, and he's like, "These are the things you'll probably want." And there's things written on there such as rope, torches, or sun rods. There's provisions, all that kind of stuff. And he's like, "Take this over to Dreskin at the provisioner's shop. He'll get you kitted out."
Why, thank you. I appreciate your kind words of advice. Krivador, do you have any more other questions to ask him?
No.
Very well then. We'll be on our way. Thank you.
No problem. Anytime. By the way, before you leave,
Oh god.
if you're heading down, is there something I can ask you?
The quest log!
My
quest log is nearly full.
It grows.
Oh my god.
It's not really pressing, but a few days ago, one of my mining teams was just viciously slaughtered. And
I'm not even there.
my pet,
Your pet, huh?
my dear pet,
Gerbil.
she disappeared. Well, I think that she's probably alive because we recovered the miners' bodies, but we didn't recover hers. So, judging from the brutality of the attack, I believe that gnolls are responsible. But I don't know where I'd find them.
Well,
Knowles, huh?
good job, Gryffindor. Let that one slip through your fingers.
If we happen to encounter any gnolls along this journey, we will definitely keep an eye out and see if they might have kept your pet for their own.
Tell me, dwarf, Master Dwarf, what is this pet?
A dire boar!
Bacon, you say?
Something I'm thinking.
Well, that's what I call her. Oh, poor Bacon!
Of course it is.
Come back to me!
Oh my god.
And he kind of
You get-
eats.
Do you want to know how to tame it, or in case if like it thinks it wants?
What would be the should we find this
Do we have
boar,
a squeaky toy?
what would be the best way to get it back to you without harming it or us?
Well, I trained her as a mount, so when you can ride her back,
How many can you hold? Just one?
one probably. She's also a beast of burden, so she could carry your things back.
Dibs.
She's pretty easygoing as boars go, so she'll probably just not give you much trouble. Oh, what I would do to have her back.
Well, unless any one of us is injured along the way, we won't be riding her. We
Oh,
might
shit,
be
we won't.
using her for supplies if need be. Yes, we will indeed look for her, for you, and bring her back.
Now I'm thinking of bacon bits.
Alright, well, if you do think that you might need a beast of burden, I suggest you check out Bursk's. Just to the north of here, he rents out mules.
No.
Mules.
Every time we have a pet, it runs away because somebody attacks it.
Accidentally!
Or they climb up a scaffold, drop down a ladder for you, and then you don't catch them when they fall.
Are we still looking at what was that? Was that the tower?
Yes, that was the Goblin Tower.
Rip in peace, Floyd.
Again, that was definitely one of those nope!
Oh, just kidding.
Darn it, right through my hand.
I tried, guys. He was there and he was gone.
He gave his life to allow us to climb a ladder. The ladder to victory.
He will be missed. Moving on.
Moving on.
No one mourned his death.
Jake did. He delivered the eulogy.
Yeah, he did.
Stirring eulogy that almost no one was there for.
No one was there.
No one was there.
Ezra and Tetsu were the only attendees. Alright, so you guys head out to get provisions.
Yeah.
16.
Don't remember. I don't remember. What's your character's name, Jake?
Ezra.
Ezra. Don't say anything because we will hike up the prices.
Alright.
Very well then.
Alright, you head to the provisioner's shop. You see, he's a rotund little man who looks like, he might try to wheedle you out of some stuff. And,
Well, shit, he will.
he goes, oh, hey!
Oh shit.
What can I help you with? Oh, gosh!
Now we just need a duck.
The Master Dwarf gave us this list of provisions to get.
Well, I'll get right on that. And he goes back and he...
Checks his PDA.
Until next time.
No, we can continue for a little bit. And he goes back and he starts putting some stuff together, wrapping them in packages for you. You see that there's basically mundane equipment that you probably used up during your keep on the Shadowfell expedition. He puts in some ropes, he puts in some sun rods, some torches, and just all around there's a couple water skins that are filled up for you. And he kind of So basically, there are 4 backpacks, and he hands them all to you, and he says, "Chink. That'll be 80 gold."
Well, Zoran, you are our bank, so...
Bullshit.
Mr.
I come bursting through the shop door and I'm like, I can't take it anymore!
Rendell's behind you, said, "No!" Rendell comes in behind him, and this is my pet rock, Stampy.
Rendell, go back to the end!
All right. By the way, I still haven't bought you that round of ale, so make sure you come back.
We live here
What's your
now.
street
you
wise?
do know this. We live where he lives.
Everything's done and finished, and we just like quietly slip out of the mountain. We get back to Falkirk. He's just already there.
What's your intimidate?
My intimidate's freaking high.
I was gonna say, intimidate the shopkeeper. We are not paying 80 gold for this shit. That is way too much.
Well, at least tell...
Oh, do you think it's too much?
I know it's too much.
Okay.
Yeah, my intimidate's 12.
Yeah,
so
do something about this. Mr. Big Dragon Knight.
Intimidate? Jeez.
I just don't want everyone to hate us.
No, just be like, you expect us to pay 80 gold?
No,
I think
say
we're-
what you want to say before you try.
80 gold's far too high for us to pay. We've paid far less before. Now, lower that.
No.
Okay.
That's a
Ooh, I thought that was a
17
one.
Plus 12,
plus 12, so yeah, we're looking at a 28.
29.
Yeah, no. Yeah, 29, sorry.
All right. He kind of shrivels back a little bit and says, "Oh, well, 70." And he's, kind of tapping his fingers together like,
Do it again!
Do it again.
You think 10 gold's going to make that much difference? 23.
he says, all right, 60, but I can't go any lower. Do you know how hard it is to get things down here?
Do it again.
No!
We're not paying
No!
60 gold.
I dropped it 20
60 is
for you.
actually the market price.
Oh, it is?
I dropped it 20 for you. Very well, we will take that.
We thank you for your
Banker.
kindness. You see, we are going on a journey, and we're going to need as much gold as possible for equipping ourselves against the dangers of the mountain.
Let's go.
Out the door we go.
All right, so you all run out the door.
With our packs in tow.
Yes. And
Hug the wall because Rendell
the theme
just...
song is playing behind you.
As we just like march into the cave, just theme song's playing.
All right, so you head out through the dragon's door. It opens up before you into a long passage with lights bracketing the sides, and we shall continue on the journey momentarily.
I
I can't take it anymore!
80 gold.